Hey everyone, Sarah Herrick-Peck here, Communications Director for the Ohio Travel Association. I recently had a chance to sit down with John Fimiani, one of our keynote speakers for our 2025 Ohio Conference on Travel in Ashtabula County. John is the Chief Strategy Officer at LaMark Media based in Boca Raton, Florida, where he leads the charge in strategy, brand creative, lifecycle marketing, advanced analytics, and content marketing. A visionary in the space where data meets storytelling, John is also the architect behind LaMark Intelligence, the agency's proprietary AI driven marketing platform transforming how brands connect, convert, and grow. A recognized voice in AI and marketing innovation, John serves on the AI Strategic Advisory Board at Ashland University and holds certification in AI executive leadership. He's passionate about helping marketers embrace the future with confidence and creativity. Whether you're watching or listening, I hope you find this conversation with John compelling and pique your interest for what's to come October 3rd at the Ohio Conference on Travel in Ashtabula County. Right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining me today to chat a bit about your upcoming keynote at the Ohio Conference on Travel. It definitely goes without saying that AI is a hot topic right now, and I'm really interested in your keynote and what we are going to discuss today. So let's go ahead and just jump in.
Sure. Sounds great.
First question I have for you, your keynote is titled Rocket Fuel: How AI is Transforming Travel and Hospitality Marketing and Careers. What's one key takeaway you hope every attendee leaves with regarding AI's impact on their marketing efforts?
The key takeaway from my perspective is to build clarity and confidence in the AI journey and where we are and how we make the most of the road ahead. To understand how we can leverage the power of AI to benefit the marketers and their organizations, and at the same time to lay the fear and encourage everyone to adopt it as a superpower for their organizations and for their careers. That's really the takeaway I'd like to leave with everyone.
Yeah, especially confidence because, it can be confusing and but very intriguing at the same time. So leaving with confidence is definitely key there.
Absolutely. The change is happening very fast, and it's probably as transformational of a technology as we've seen in our lifetimes. And so
Mhm.
people have a lot of questions. They're intrigued by the capability and the power of what's there, but they're a little bit, unsettled by how it may disrupt jobs or the market or the way consumers make decisions. So I think we need to make sure that there's clarity around that, and we understand all of the possibilities that are built into this stage.
Right, exactly. So with 40 years of marketing experience, I'm sure you have seen countless shifts. How does the current AI transformation compare to previous major distributions in the marketing landscape, particularly for the travel and hospitality industry?
In my opinion, this is the most transformational change in technology, in society, and what it's going to do with marketing and the way consumers make decisions, how we create content, how we engage. And I believe it's bigger than the internet and what happened with mobile and what
Mm,
happened with social. And so it's really beyond the information age. It's a quantum leap in what technology can do, even in society. So I would argue this is probably 10 times more substantial than even what we saw in the last shift, which was to digital.
right, absolutely. And the travel and hospitality sector, it's incredibly diverse. Can you share an example of how a smaller attraction or retail shop or independent restaurant might leverage AI even without a massive budget to compare or to compete more effectively?
I think that's what's really amazing about the technology is its accessibility. In many ways, I think the smaller businesses, the medium-sized businesses, will get the greatest benefit from the technology as kind of a great equalizer.
Mm.
It gives them affordable capacity that used to be only available to larger, big budget organizations. Many of the models and the tools are free, particularly in this time where people are trying to gain user base. So many free and very low cost options. And when you think of the cost of the technology versus the cost of hiring an agency or an employee, it's very cost effective. It can generate and place content, it can build imagery and video, it can customize emails and CRMs to build engagement and loyalty, all of which a single individual using the technology can do. And it really is a leg up, and it is a bit of a supercharger to the capability of small businesses, medium-sized businesses, people that want to grow the business and reach more customers and attendees and travelers.
Right. And definitely when we go back to saying, the confidence that people might be looking for, they might feel a lot of confidence, once they fully do understand that it can be used as a great tool in their toolbox for
Right.
marketing, especially like you said, those smaller organizations that might not have a massive budget, um, which I love that. So, in your keynote description, you mention AI elevating every stage of the marketing journey. Without giving too much away, could you walk us through one specific stage and show how AI is fundamentally changing the approach of tourism organizations?
Sure. There was some recent research that illustrated that AI is one of the fastest growing means and also displacing other ways of planning for travel, accommodations, destinations. And one of five consumers is now using AI for their travel and destination planning. So, understanding how to have a presence in AI platforms. They have a term now called GEO, which is generative engine optimization for websites and web presence to make
Oh,
sure that destinations, events, tourism activities, travel means are present in a planning tool that consumers are using. And some of this is displacing your typical Google search. Really, only social and some travel services are growing at a rate that's close to AI. But I could imagine in the next 1 to 2 years, it may become among the most dominant resources for travel planning and organizing where people want to visit and how to visit and where to go when they're there. And that's just one example of, I believe, what we're seeing in AI in the travel space.
right. And it feels like AI in the last even 3 years has grown beyond what we could have imagined it would have been when it was even first introduced. So I could see that fast growth happening, like you mentioned, in 1 to 2 years.
It's hard to believe ChatGPT is really only about 2 years old.
Yeah.
And, you think about the speed, and if you look at the adoption curve, the technology adoption of AI is far faster than smartphones, the internet,
Wow.
computers. It's really a hockey stick curve, and I think that is also then bringing with it the market changes and the forces that are affecting the way consumers are using the technology.
Yes, absolutely. So, kind of going back to what we talked about a little bit earlier, many in the audience might feel a mix of excitement, but also apprehension about AI. What's one practical, actionable tip that you can offer to someone who's just starting to explore AI for their organization?
So the first thing people need to do is they need to really dive into the technology and to use it intensely over a 3-day period. find a platform, and I would argue starting with ChatGPT is a very good one.
Mhm.
And then proactively use AI for everything at work. And they really need to immerse themselves into the technology, ask the questions, and understand it. The other area there in there, by the way, are a lot of great YouTube videos that can help people to get started and to understand how to explore the technology. And then there's great newsletters. So I would recommend everybody should subscribe to an AI oriented newsletter. And, that'll sort of get you immersed into what is coming and how people are using it and how to get you very comfortable with the technology and how it can be applied where you work.
Yeah. I'm sure also all of those, like the newsletter, the YouTube videos, probably just taking the time to watch, read up, and really dive into AI, you'll realize just how much exploration there could be and just how much you could be using it for.
Yeah. Even for personal things.
Yeah.
Um, we had a 90th birthday for my mother-in-law, and we went on to Suno and we had it write a song about her life, and we played it at the birthday celebration, and
Oh,
it was the hit of the party because it told her story in a song that sounded incredibly authentic, and that's just a small way. One AI tool, which is a music generator, can
mhm.
have a real emotional and impactful effect in life, and that just then also illustrated how the tool could be used, and then you can imagine how it could be used at events or in video and things like that. So getting in there and even using it for personal things, having it write a child's story, having it brainstorm ideas. You get in there and you use it, and then it starts to unlock it, and you really become really engaged and find it to be invaluable.
Right. So, as Chief Strategy Officer at LaMark Media, you are at the forefront of AI initiatives. What is one common misconception about AI that you frequently encounter when working with clients in the travel and hospitality space?
Yeah. So I would apply this to everybody who's a professional that right now is thinking about AI and wondering what effect it'll have on them professionally and then on their work. So a couple things that come to mind is the fear of the use of the technology. That it'll change their work, the way they've done things in the past, and somehow maybe it's cheating, right? That
Mm,
I know is deep in people's minds, but we need to think about AI as a companion in our work, just as we learn to use a lot of computer programs or online resources to make ourselves better. We need to think about it that way. I think a lot of people are concerned it's going to displace their job.
mm,
But when you embrace AI and you learn to leverage it, I would argue it can make professionals more effective and productive, increase their value in the market, and really lead to better opportunities.
mm,
And then I think the last thing is I think a lot of people are worried that maybe what the AI generates is not authentic
mm.
and it doesn't feel right. And in that case, I say it's how you use it and how you work with it and how you tailor the outputs that come out of it to be in the language you would use and in a way that you would endorse it. So I think there's a lot of questions about how to apply it in the work world and in their professional lives. But those are things that you quickly start to understand when you get in there and use it extensively.
Right. I know, for example, for myself and our team at the Ohio Travel Association, we've used it in our staff meetings just so none of us are missing a beat, or, if we don't have time to scribble down a quick note, we can go back and refer to the AI note taker. And that I know just for myself has helped immensely with not forgetting something a task that I need to do or going back and double checking something. So, I know just for our team, that has been a great resource and tool for us.
Yeah, those mundane things that nobody loves to
Yeah.
do taking meeting notes, doing follow-ups. You gain that time back, and then you can take the
Mhm.
time you would have spent doing those things and channel it into more productive activities and things that help you and your organization to be more successful for sure.
Exactly, exactly. Um, for those in marketing careers, an idea of AI transforming jobs can be daunting. What skills do you believe are becoming increasingly vital for marketers to develop in this AI powered future?
I think the thing that is unique about the AI tools out there is it's not really about training, it's about active use.
Mm.
And so the first thing you really need to do is to get in and work with the models and to have conversations. Really, it becomes almost like a collaboration tool. So in those collaborations, you're going to have a way of working with the tool. So it's very important that you get in, you work with it, you learn what it can do, and then I would go online and look at tips and techniques that others use to continue to develop your way of working with the technology. And then the second thing is you kind of have to figure out what your core tool set's going to be. You mentioned a Notebook LM. That's a great tool to use. ChatGPT is great. Likely you're going to find a video or an audio or an image generator. So you have to get in there and work with them. Each model has different strengths and weaknesses. So you have to become proficient across sort of the tool range that may be used in your industry and profession. And I think the more you apply it, you learn to co create and co develop and work with it, the more it'll become second nature. And that
Mm.
second nature aspect makes you a more well rounded and a higher performing professional.
Absolutely. Like I mentioned before, it's helpful as a tool and being able to do those little tasks and going back and making sure that you've got everything in check. And also, I know the more you use it, the more it understands your brand voice,
Mhm.
and you can use it as a tool in that way too.
Yeah, I would argue beyond being a tool, it's a bit of a mindset shift. It's a
Mm.
way of working. And
Mhm.
the tools are there, but there's a lot of different ways you can leverage AI to cover a range of activities. But it becomes a way of thinking. I would say the major um, hurdle in the use of AI is about a limitation of your imagination. It's
Mm.
not the ability to use a tool, it's how you can imagine what it can help you to do. And that imagination put to work with the AI and the way that you work creates extraordinary outputs.
That's very interesting. I like that argument. And I like the idea of it being a mind shift instead of it being a tool. That's great. So, last question I have for you here. Looking ahead, what's one bold prediction you have for how AI will reshape the travel and hospitality experience for consumers within the next 3 to 5 years?
I'm going to give you two. The first one, as it deals with travel, hospitality, events, tourism, I think it's going to reshape the teams, how
Mm.
we work, how we leverage technology. There'll be some inertia in there because people change a little more slowly than the technology comes online. But you can think about tasks that'll be done through the technology, which will change the skill set, the roles, and the activities within teams. So the reshaping of the teams. The very exciting thing I am seeing and we're spending a lot of time with is agents.
Mm.
So when we consider what an agent is, it is a resource that we use as consumers to go out and undertake a whole range of tasks. So I'm thinking about a family trip. I want something within 300 miles. I'd like you to go out and find what destination would be good. I have kids that are ages 3 to 9.
Mhm.
They love to go swimming and they want to do something with science for education. There's a range of things. You're going to be able to put all that into an agent. The agent will go out and it'll research the different destinations. It'll be able to find activities. It'll be able to build an itinerary, and then the agent will be able to contact a hotel to make a reservation. It'll be able to get prices. It'll be able to make restaurant reservations. And a lot of people think about these agents as being way down the road. I'm using agents every day to do aspects of my job that range from research to planning to making contact to creation. And I think agents are going to be a very exciting aspect. And then we can think about the fact that the destination may have agents on their side that are responding, right? So you can see potentially an agent to agent interaction where people are involved, but a lot of the legwork is being done through technology.
Right, absolutely. And, those little things like making the reservations, calling the restaurant, that takes up a lot of time. And sometimes your busy day, it may get away from you. So having that in your back pocket, I'm sure would be extremely helpful with
Yeah.
anything.
And the technologies are making it very easy for
Mhm.
consumers to do these things. And that's the benefit of the intelligence. You can give it information,
Right.
that you think you want to do, and it'll come back with ideas that turn it into something that's actionable, and extremely convenient, time saving, and maybe even give you ideas you hadn't thought of because you don't know what's possible in a lot of the areas you may want to look into.
Absolutely. Well, what a great discussion. And AI it's interesting and like I said before, an intriguing topic. Um, so thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And I look forward to a deeper dive in Ashtabula County on October 3rd for our 2025 Ohio Conference on Travel.
Excited to be there, excited to see everybody in October. It's an exciting topic, and I'm sure it's going to be a great session.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John. Have a good one.
Great. Thank you, Sarah. You too.